One of the silliest bits that you had on Twitter, which was your Twitter for Android.
It's so long. I can't even capture it on camera. It's so long.
We're pixelating this lower part, right? Because the ball hanging out, I don't know if it...
No, leave it in.
I think we might get demonetized for that.
You get demonetized for balls?
Just one.
Just the one.
Man, what's happened to YouTube?
Hello and welcome to Flashback with Smosh, the show where we usually would dive into our old Smosh episodes, but today is a very special episode.
It is indeed. We have friend of the channel and of my real life, Jacksfilms.
Jacksfilms!
Fellas,
Hello.
this is such a treat. I cannot wait to cringe with you together on this journey, on this flashback here.
Today we're going to be going into your first video ever.
Your
your
first
first
ever
viral
viral.
video ever. We're going to show a clip from the first time that we ever cameoed in one of your videos.
Right. Oh man.
An episode that launched one of your most popular, longest running series on your channel. You're actually wearing... Yay!
Oh my god, you said it right. No one says it right. Yes. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, what's yay? What is that?
Oh, that's messed up.
Clearly pronounced yay.
I always take it as a personal insult, but
You should.
You
'cause
did your
that's
homework, so
messed
that's
up.
Right, kind of culturally insensitive to,
Yeah.
to say that wrong.
I didn't want to say it, but yes.
Yeah.
And today, Anthony and I are both wearing outfits that are very related to you. This is a knockoff of a shirt that you actually sold.
Did you actually sell this shirt?
Did you sell this shirt?
It's
or
less
no?
of a shirt and more of a Fortnite emote that I sold, or was sold, I should say.
Did you sell it on a shirt ever?
I don't think I ever did a dab shirt.
Okay, well, we found a
Okay.
bootleg version.
We searched Jacksfilms dabbing shirt, and this is the shirt that came up.
Yeah.
I wish I had a shirt that good.
So we
Yeah.
definitely supported some
Yeah.
dark web kind of website to get
Yeah.
this, but worth it.
I know, so my mistake was never putting my deep dab on a shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
truly.
What happened was
truly.
Fortnite one day was like, let's make an emote out of that. And it's, I don't know, man. I'm not saying I invented dabbing or even deep dabbing, but it's like really similar.
I don't know.
That's what I
I'll
did.
just say it. I think they ripped off your deep dab. I don't think
They didn't get
anyone-
approval for that?
Oh no.
Hell no, they didn't get approval for a lot of those dances.
They got the backpack kid approval, though, right?
Well, I think they did with that, but other dances they just kind of took and they're
Oh.
like, but it's like a thing, like just in the culture, people do this dance.
I
It's not
which I
one
didn't know the
person.
deep dab was in the zeitgeist.
You made the deep dab, right?
Well,
You made it.
Yeah, I
Just
did.
say
you
it.
made
Just
it
say
part of
you
the
made it.
zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Go me.
You know what? I'm
Go
just going to
us.
say it. Fortnite.
Whoa. Okay, hold
Whoa.
on. Dude, we
Big-
could
as of
become
this
characters
taping-
in that.
Oh, you think that we
Yeah,
can
don't
become
burn that
characters?
bridge. Don't burn that bridge.
We'll become characters without our
Yeah, we could be
approval.
the next Travis Scott. You know, we could put on a concert in Fortnite.
Or Peter Griffin. They just
Or
added
Peter
Peter
Griffin.
Griffin.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. I take it back. I love Fortnite.
Yeah, they just added the bird is the
They-
word dance.
They
to it.
did.
And I'm wearing a shirt that is one of the silliest bits that you had on Twitter, which was your Twitter for Android.
It's so long. I can't even capture it on camera. It's so long.
We're pixelating this lower part, right? Because the ball hanging out, I don't know if it...
No, leave it in.
I think we
cowards.
might get demonetized for that.
You get demonetized for balls?
Just one.
Just the one.
Man, what's
Yeah.
happened to
You're-
YouTube?
The right ball is lower than the left.
That again is a better shirt than the one I did have because it's way longer. It should be longer. It should
You
be
sh-
like hit the floor
You
length.
should have had.
Yeah.
I
a
should have had a
dress.
floor length Twitter for Android shirt,
Dang,
but that's
Shoulda.
beautiful.
Well, hit us up if you want any more ideas. 'Cause-
Will do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Taking you,
we have a great merch team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And Jacksfilms, you have 2.7 billion views on your videos. How's that feel?
Yeah, weird. It's weird. That's
Okay.
higher than I last checked.
That's more population than on the Earth.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, a few times more actually.
Yeah, multiple times.
Multiple times.
Yeah, there's
Isn't
only
that
7.
Crazy.
There's
There's only 7 million people
8 million
on.
people.
8 million.
On Earth.
8 million? Is it 8
It's
million
8
now?
million.
8 million out.
There are
Damn,
8
that's
million
just
people
booming.
on the planet.
Yeah, it's booming.
What can I say?
Business-
People
business
love
is booming.
Jacksfilms.
That's what the people are saying. Let's start off this flashback with your first sketch, your first video.
Is this your first video?
I think my first video, period.
Okay.
Yeah,
Really?
Yes.
What, was this 2006?
It sure was. It was June something 2006.
Okay.
Nice.
It's called Handy Pen.
18 years ago?
Oh, don't say that.
17 years ago? It's only 17. It's not
17.
18 yet.
June. The channel will be legal on June of 2024.
We just celebrated
Let's go.
Smosh. We
Let's
just celebrated
celebrate
Smosh turning 18.
I love that. Oh, because I saw your tattoos. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was sick. It was sick. We had some tattoos. We had some scratchers.
Yeah.
Nice.
We lasered off the tattoos though. It just wasn't a vibe.
They weren't our
anymore.
vibe.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. Unless you're a bitch. Handy pen.
Oh God, I haven't seen this in years.
To go. Oh.
Ooh, this is
Oh.
some
So
2006
pixely.
quality.
I'm like having to lean
Are you
forward.
tired of using your hands
My
for
voice
writing?
is so young.
Damn it!
That was our best take.
You're like millions of
The
Americans
audio got worse.
familiar with that scene. Have we got a solution for
Remember
you?
Sideburns?
Why do you? I was gonna say you look older here.
World's first fully hands-free writing utensil.
Benjamin
of the
Button, baby.
21st century. But how does it work?
Wow.
Each handy
I thought that was
pen
very
comes
funny.
with built-in
It is funny. It is funny.
And it was especially funny 17 years ago.
One size fits all.
Oh.
Next,
Oh,
Cool
yeah.
jump cut, Jack.
and
Jesus.
inside the map. Make sure that the ink end is pointing away from you. Now you're ready to go.
I hate this guy.
You'd be surprised to find out how easy it is to
What is this
What? I
audio?
can't hear shit.
It
What's
gives
that,
you
bud?
2 ways to write.
Are you playing a Mormon here?
Or the paper.
Apparently.
And imagine the possibilities of
This
a
is
hands-free
funny.
pen. You could-
Is it? I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore.
I like the Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
iMovie
is-
was a hell of a
this
tool.
is iMovie.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Mix rich chocolate milk
What?
and hundreds of other possibilities.
Comedy.
With the handy pen, you have
Thumb
the
wrestle
power
2
to
opponents at
be
once?
creative.
Users, out there with all those special features that cost
What, is this your mom?
That's my sister.
Oh, it says.
That's where you're wrong. Handy pen can be yours for just
It's
3
pixelated.
seconds.
We
Yeah,
can't see
I
detail.
can't see detail.
But wait, there's
I
more.
can't see shit.
If you call an order within the next 20 minutes, you'll also get this free guide
can't even, like,
full of hundreds
read it.
of
It's
uses
so
for
blurry.
your brand new
1001 uses for
an
handy pen.
$80 value. Yours free.
God.
How's that for handy? Sure.
We got a pun
I
in
could
there.
go on all day talking about how phenomenal this
What's
new
that?
product is.
You
but
take a
don't
painting
my
off the
word
wall
for it.
and you just left the hanger.
This is in the basement. My parents' basement. That's my
Taxpayer.
mom.
Okay, your mom is playing Donna.
Now I can do my taxes and my manicure all at the same time.
She's great.
Right? Natural.
great.
Yeah.
Hi, honey.
And that's my dad.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like he really didn't know what was going on.
Wait, was he unironically wearing suspenders?
No,
So
just
if
as
you're
if like he
tired of
came from
this
home
happening to
from
you-
work.
Okay.
I think that was the joke. Oh, Christ.
Whoa.
Order that handy pen today. Don't delay.
Longest. Don't clap. Don't clap.
No, we're getting
I
claps for
enjoyed
that.
it. I enjoyed it. I mean, for
Yeah.
a first video, that's actually like solid.
No, it's true. You had the sound design. You had lots of editing. Lots of effects.
Your mom was good. I feel like there's something about like parents from like YouTube channels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if you had your parent in a YouTube video in those early days, banger.
I
Absolute
mean,
banger.
it was easy for me to do. I was still living at home at
Yeah.
the time, right?
Well, that's
Like,
why
this
we
is-
got Ian's mom in a lot of the early videos too.
There you go.
Yeah.
This was the summer right before this. I went to college.
Right.
For 4 years, but like at the point of this video, I just got a new MacBook, like whatever the new MacBook was in 06. I just got my first video camera. I got this sweet new editing system called iMovie. It was just
Yeah.
the top of the line, as you could clearly tell with
Yeah.
those cool effects.
Oh, yeah,
Did you
big
see that
time.
lightning plug-in?
Dude,
It
that
was
was
sick.
sick. And you had some echo on the voice and everything?
No, that was just unintentional. That was just me being 30 feet away from the on-camera microphone.
Oh, okay, that's what that was.
And the camera was like a hard drive camera. I don't know. HD, what is that?
Were you using mini DV tapes back then?
No, so that was even before that. Like my next camera had mini DV tapes. This just recorded something on like a 40 gig hard drive at like 480p, 360p, something like
That
that.
actually seems more advanced than the tapes.
It was certainly more convenient because I
Yeah.
hated. I'm sure you guys like can commiserate. I hated logging footage from those DV
Because
tapes.
it plays
if anyone
back at
knows that.
1 time speed.
Exactly, right. So you can't, there's no fast way to do it.
Yeah.
It's in real time. But, so I had this huge love of infomercials during this time. Like
Yeah.
I grew up on the Billy Mays stuff, OxyClean, Orange Glow,
Same.
ShamWow, all that crap. And so this was my loving, touching tribute, an ode to all those infomercials I grew up watching.
Well, it's interesting because it's so much like our Easy Step commercial, which we made around the same time because we also like grew up on those like crappy infomercials. The setup of those infomercials is just like so perfect for making sketch comedy.
They felt like parody already.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because there's always so over the top, and you got the close-up inserts of like someone spilling juice. The black and white footage is always it's like a staple. They write themselves, right?
Yeah.
So like it's very easy, not even low-hanging fruit. It's just like it's
ripe
fruit.
for parody.
Yeah,
Fruit.
it's just fruit.
It's just fruit.
But they're great. So that's where that came from, and that was my first video ever. Oh my God.
Wow.
From a
That's
zillion years
wild.
ago.
Yeah, it's funny though because the infomercial parody concept feels outdated now, just because infomercials aren't as commonly on TV now.
Absolutely.
Ian and I went in to write something that was supposed to be like a parody of a commercial, but we're like, okay, because automatically we were like, infomercial, we're like, oh, that's
People don't
not
do that anymore.
what you're seeing now.
Like commercial, like who even watches commercials anymore? You know,
Right.
more or less. You know, because like they're just on network television, and we're watching like YouTube ads. That's something, but like those are tougher to parody. So
Different,
it's a different thing. It's a different medium. Like how do you find the right commercials to parody now? But this was a bit more rampant.
This was a disease.
I was so like scared and shy. Like I had never really been on camera before. Not really. It was a very like, do you remember? Like you have to go way back. Do you remember your first feelings of looking into the camera lens and talking at it, talking to it? It's very unnatural if you haven't done it a million times before. Because then you get in your own head. You're constantly like, you're trying to look, but you're kind of looking away. You know, or at least I was, like my experience. So like, I didn't know how to do any of this stuff.
Yeah, I think it was a little different for us because we were always playing off of each other.
Oh, you weren't really
So
looking
like
at the camera.
there was less stuff where we had to look at the camera, but I do remember being, because we didn't come up on saying things to the camera, it was very weird for me to talk to the camera. And like I feel like it's so weird because like YouTubers nowadays, like everyone kind of like knows it's like, oh, you talk to the camera, like they're a friend or whatever. But it's just so alien for me. Like I can just like not.
Well, also the earliest videos that we made were lip syncing, so we didn't even have to use our real voice. So I feel like I became a little bit comfortable with being on camera before we even had to speak. But I do remember it was super weird the first time that we recorded us saying something.
We recorded like a couple videos where we talked to the camera that were like, we did one for like the tsunami in Japan, and like a couple other ones like celebrating like a milestone of subscribers. But like it always just seems so stilted.
Yes,
Whenever we had to
when
talk.
you first do it, it has to seem so. It probably seems so fake. Like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like any of this. Like what I'm saying. Like I can very much vibe with that. It took me forever to like get used to that.
Also to have that idea in your head as you're speaking, lots of people that I don't know are gonna see this. I don't know, something about that concept seems normal now because everyone has access to upload something on Instagram or TikTok or whatever straight off their phone. It's like the concept of people that you don't know seeing something you put out there just is natural now. But at this time, it was like a choice. You're like, people I don't know are gonna see this, and that is very weird.
That never got to me because this being the very first video I ever uploaded, I didn't have an audience. I started with, as we all did, 0 subscribers. I didn't think it would get many views at all. I just treated YouTube back then as like my portfolio, my body of work. And that's like, I don't really care who saw it. I just wanted to have it out there so that if I ever made the big move to Hollywood, I could say like, here, this is my work. I'm very proud of this grainy ass work.
Yeah.
Yep, made it to your portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're right there with you, like on this kind of quality. Like it's crazy, like how bad that video quality was. It wasn't even 360p.
Right.
It was 144.
That's what it was. Yes.
Not even P. I don't think, because
No,
I
it's
think it
just
was
140p,
interlaced.
yeah.
The leaps and bounds that have happened since, and even like, forget since, like 10 years ago. Like compare 10 years ago videos to this 17 years ago, and it's already like light years of a difference.
We're gonna go to what is your first viral video.
Is it your most viral video still?
It's not, but it was my first.
Okay.
And you never forget your first.
You never
Okay.
forget your
You
first
never forget your
one.
first. Let's see your first.
And this is,
Oh,
Is
there,
that just a pen with a rubber band attached?
there was more to it. We missed out
I did a
on.
really fun blow dart gag. Isn't that cool?
we love a good blow dart joke.
They read really well in 2006, blow dart
Oh,
jokes.
here we go. Here's all
Look at all the Douglases.
Credits?
Wow.
I forgot I put credits in this.
Damn it, freak.
And those are real credits too.
Thanks,
Oh, music
iMovie.
screenplay.
Wow.
You
What
did
a-
the music?
I did do the music, so I wrote that using a computer software program called Sibelius, which is what I use to write
Sounds
my.
like a sex toy.
Fuck you.
What? How?
I don't know.
Like my Sibelius is vibrating in my bag, or
I
what?
can't.
Sibelius is a composer, okay? And maybe it's also a sex toy. But it was this program I used for like my senior high school like thesis, my senior capstone. I wrote like a symphony with like 17 different instruments and parts and stuff, and I used this Sibelius program to write it. And it was very slow, or at least maybe it was slow on my computer, but it was cumbersome. But I wrote my little jingle that you heard that I still use to this day.
You use that one still?
Oh yeah.
Oh, shit.
For like the nostalgia value, but like if I have an ad or
Yeah.
a plug or a sponsor in a video, every
Yeah.
now and then I'll just let's throw
It
that
fits
song
the
in there.
sponsor vibe
You know what I mean?
perfectly.
It does. Like
Yeah.
it's this little jingle.
Certified hood classic.
But, yes.
Yeah.
Certified.
To this day, it's still called infomercial.wave. Like that's the little
Wow.
file that's like 17 years old now.
Yeah.
Dang.
All right. Did you use it in this parody?
No, and we'll talk about what I did use and why
Ooh,
and what
okay.
that
This
meant
is the MacBook Air parody.
Let's go.
from 2008.
Introducing the new MacBook Air.
This is real footage.
It fits in a manila envelope. With the new trackpad, you can make images larger and smaller and larger again.
This
Better
music.
yet, make a W shape with your fingers and wiki like your favorite DJ. Why not? The MacBook Air can't play DVDs or even CDs without an external drive. But look, it fits inside a manila envelope. Neato! For a cool party trick, show your friends a manila envelope and challenge them to stick their laptops inside it. When they fail, bust out your $3,000 MacBook Air and tuck it inside.
I can't believe that shit was
Was that
$3,000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The MacBook Air. Why the hell not?
Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay,
I don't
let's-
even know if we could use this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because of the music.
'Cause
Okay.
the
Did you
music.
get taken down? Did the video get copyright strike?
Yes, it did. So for that, because like that was the song that the actual commercial used back when those Mac,
Yeah.
those Apple
always use
commercials
hip
used like little
music.
poppy songs like that, right? So I was so mad when they unveiled the MacBook Air for the first time in 2008. So I would like, let's go back. I'm in college. I'm like a sophomore or junior in college, something like that. And I edit all my videos on a MacBook. And I have one of the iPod Nanos. So I'm in the Apple ecosystem, right?
Mac stand.
I'm a bit of a Mac stan. And so I hear they have a new announcement, or they're announcing a new computer. I'm on pins and needles. I watched the live presentation.
Yeah.
And I remember being so underwhelmed at their unveiling. And that was their whole gimmick, right? Like Steve Jobs, I think, or someone
It
busts
was
out
Steve,
It
yeah.
was Steve. Okay, so he busts out a manila envelope and he's like, guess what's in here? And he takes out the laptop, everyone oohs and ahs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so it's thin. What else you got? And that's when it's revealed that it doesn't have
The CD drive.
and that was a big deal in 08.
Yeah.
That was a big
Yeah.
criticism that I and a lot of other people had because that was unheard of. Your laptop, your computer needs to play CDs and DVDs.
Yeah.
Yep, and it will always need to for the rest of time.
That's what I thought. That's weird. So that's when I was like, it's thin, but it can't even fit the CD player.
Yeah.
Why and it's $3,000 or whatever. Maybe it was I actually don't remember the price tag.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was like the highest.
Right, like if
end,
the souped up version,
like
most RAM.
everything together.
But it's funny because that joke does not hit now.
No, not at all.
It's like, it doesn't have a CD player. You're like good.
yeah. Cool. Right, like when's that?
Get that shit out of here.
But the fact that they had to like make an additional accessory,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but
that you
that's
could still
The
use
super
it.
drive,
That's
yeah.
the
or like-
Apple way, though. They
Yeah.
innovate in some way that removes something that they deem as unnecessary, and then they say, but if you still want it, we have this accessory.
That's where it came from. The headphone jack.
Yes.
The charging cable, all that came from this. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm like, I think you can pinpoint it back to 08. But I remember feeling, I was so mad and pissed off. I'm gonna make a parody, you know.
Yeah,
That's what I shat out.
Right.
But this was my first viral video. This is the first one that took off.
because everyone else was pissed about it too.
Right, and everyone shared that same sentiment. You know how it took off? You know how it got viral? Such an old school way. It got reblogged from tech blogs. So they would embed the video with the headline, check out this knee slapper really taking the piss at Apple.
What is it like on Dig?
Yes, it was on
like
Dig,
Engadget,
old ass tech sites that aren't even around, like honestly,
CNET.
maybe even Yahoo. Like,
Yeah.
just old ass stuff, and like that's back in my oh,
Oh,
I'm
God, you
unironically
old-
saying back in my
you
day.
old piece of shit.
That's how videos or some videos went viral. They got
Yeah.
reblogged.
Yeah,
Isn't that
yeah.
crazy?
No,
Well, yeah.
that's how some of our pages on like when we used to have like the Smosh.com like listicles and stuff, like it would get like higher ranked on like Dig
Yeah,
or whatever, and that's and then it would like get this like huge influx of traffic.
I was talking to someone about like, oh, how did videos get viral before the algorithm and you know whatnot.
That's a great conversation.
And I was like, I think some of our first videos got viral. You know, if it's not on the front page of YouTube, how else does it happen? And I was like, they were emailed.
You've got mail.
They were just forwarded in emails.
Now that's going back, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. The chain emails or the chain forwards or like
Yeah.
if you don't forward this to 10 people, a girl with no nose and no eyes will pop out of your closet.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
the copy pasta. I love that. I miss that.
Oh, those
It
are
can really
fun.
happen.
right? No, that was real. You had to do
real.
it. I
Yeah,
always did. I always
too.
forward. Did you guys?
If you don't
Oh,
send
for
this
sure.
video to 5 friends, a girl with no eyes and no ears,
Yes. And sometimes a mouth.
We'll
and
cut off
sometimes
your
an elf
foreskin.
will cut off your foreskin.
This happened to my cousin. It's real. Please don't joke about it. So the music, the going back to like this is my first copyright strike. This is yeah.
How soon after the upload did it
I
happen?
don't remember. I don't have like, it was soon.
Yeah.
But like the video took off and then I got a copyright strike and then I like ashamedly removed it. And that taught me like never again will I use someone else. So because it's the same music, I wanted to emulate the feel of the commercial, but
Yeah.
have my sassy narration voiceover over it. So I had to like find the actual track, which was that song.
Well, I think that like with you using the actual song, that probably helped it go viral.
Totally.
Because
No.
I think like some people do weigh those risks and they're like,
It's
well,
worth
if we use like a recognizable song, we might not make money off of it, but it's gonna get more traction. Like we had this conversation about music the other day because we've been working on a track.
We're all secrets.
And we were like, should we sample like a popular song? And like, well, if we sample it, then we might run into problems. So we kind of had that conversation. We wound up just making something original, but
But there's a
yeah.
huge benefit to using something like this, even if it gets
It lends it,
striked.
I guess it lent it like some authenticity during the
Yeah.
time,
Right,
right?
yeah.
But then after this, I was like, all right, never again. I have to write my own backing tracks from here on out. And I did, but it was a good lesson to learn.
Yeah.
yeah, we learned that lesson like really early, getting copyright striked for the Pokemon theme song.
Yeah. In early
Oh.
2007, the video had been out for like a year and a half, and it was #1 most viewed on YouTube.
That's a good lifespan before a strike, year and a half.
That's true. But
Yeah.
it was so early that I think that they didn't even know until
Sure.
like this early 2007. And they removed the video, and we were so disappointed because it had like 25 million.
No, it's heartbreaking.
views.
And there was no way to fight copyright strikes back then.
No.
Like it was
Right.
just like it's been removed,
Right,
and you're
right,
like, "Is it- what?
They're like,
Cool.
if you take it up with the Pokemon Co. You can handle that.
Yeah,
Handle
great.
that.
Good luck.
Yeah. But, you know, if Ian and I didn't make that video, we would not potentially have any of this.
Risk reward,
It's
guys.
true.
Yeah.
It's true. And then I wouldn't be sitting here with this.
With his left ball.
I give you permission to
protrude.
sell
Now
that,
it's
by
the
the
left
way.
ball. It was the right ball earlier.
Yeah, we like to switch it up.
So what we're saying is if you use copyrighted content, maybe it's worth it because it'll get removed, and in the future you could have your left ball hanging out on camera.
There you go.
That's a great takeaway.
So there you go, kids. Steal.
Steal. It's good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, anyway, let's so this is Your Grammar Sucks. And was this the
is a
100th
long-
episode that you did?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure which segment you're about to feature because I think you may have been in a few. I think you may have been in
might
both
have.
50 and 100, or
Okay.
at some point, I think it started with Your Grammar Sucks 40, where every 10 episodes, every episode ending in a 0, I try to make it a big collabathon. And I went all out for 50 and specifically 100. And I feel like I did something with you guys for 50.
I think this
And
was 100 because this
Okay.
was like over an hour long.
Okay, then yes. Yeah. That's the one. Oh,
So
God.
could you explain Your Grammar Sucks?
Yes, it was a series that I did where I would just read aloud YouTube comments, typically YouTube comments, that had humorous grammatical errors, spelling errors, or just syntax errors. Just funny little mistakes in comments.
And then you read it.
And I'd read it in a, when I say it out loud, it just sounds so stupid. I'd say it in a funny voice, but sometimes I went above and beyond and made songs and raps out of them. And the raps were fun. I only did those every 10 or so, but like I would try to, like, first off, you have to find hundreds of comments, and then you have to categorize them by rhymes. You take the final syllable and like, okay, how do you write a rap about? Those are fun. They're hard but rewarding. And then songs too. I would write like one time I did an opera, and like, anyways, it was just an excuse for me to write music for them. And then what I think we're about to see, I would make sketches out of them with either myself, if I didn't have friends, or with famous YouTubers.
This was over an hour?
Yeah, well, I went all out for 100. I hyped it up for literally a year.
Whoa.
2015, I hyped it up for several years. It took me a year to film the damn thing because there are like 60 or 70 YouTubers in it.
Spent a whole
7
year shooting
songs.
one episode.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Wild.
I think this was, you were living in LA.
Yep.
I hadn't moved yet.
This was at my first
and
place
we shot
in LA.
this at your place.
Just in the backyard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I love that. Okay.
In a very like weird moment of Smosh.
Yeah.
Where we were living in totally different cities. And
But we were having to meet up to shoot.
Yeah.
All right, let's
we're not watching the whole hour, sorry.
Well, I
We're
blocked this
watching-
off. I thought,
I know, sorry.
We're watching the part that's important to us.
Yeah.
that's, you know what? Get it. I totally get it.
Okay, let's go.
Your grammar sucks.
It is 50.
Oh, this is 50.
Oh.
Okay. Man, that quality.
What a fook?
Oh, this is different than a bit.
Her videos.
Her videos are what? What are her videos, Anthony? Are you joking? What are her videos? Tell me, goddamn! Anthony!
Oh, fuck.
Dude,
I don't remember this at all.
No!
I don't remember that at all. What the f?
What a fever dream that was, huh?
That was at your house though.
That was there at that first place that I had in LA.
Yeah.
I think you came over to shoot it.
I did, yeah. I'm the guy
Oh,
behind the
yeah.
camera for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I forgot that it cut to the I totally forgot about all and the music. I don't remember, but I guess I went in GarageBand and did strings. All right, we'll do this minor chord.
Yeah.
That's really fun. You guys were such troopers. You guys were such troopers for that.
The whole bit is that someone just did not finish the comment before they
videos.
said
in mid-sentence and
Yeah.
choked or died or whatever. Oh man, those were fun to do. Those were so much work, the big
Yeah.
collabathons, but anyone I could get on board. Like I was just, they were hectic to shoot because I would just try to coordinate.
And you were
a
traveling
dozen.
around shooting
Yeah.
all of them yourself.
I was the camera guy. I was the
So nobody was like sending in
coordinator.
videos.
I was the guy. I was the guy who's like, oh yeah, no one sent it. Well, that's okay. Some people sent in videos, like for 100, you can see like some of the cameos were just YouTubers who had the time to just send themselves filming something.
Yeah.
But I tried my best to be there to film it, especially for like, if it required handheld shots and stuff, just some kind of cinematic comedic flair. I tried to be there to, add my touch or any touch to it. But oh man, it just takes me back. Like that whole era of collaboration.
Yeah.
Or collabs. I mean, we're doing it now, obviously, but it was different back then because it was more of an event.
It was way more special.
It was, because like then, like the comments were all like, he got Smosh?
Yeah.
He got so-and-so and so-and-so? And it was like that for every video.
Now I feel like it's so common for people to meet up and collab that it's like,
But it's not
It's
even
not
like
as
an
special.
it's not even like an event. I feel like people have figured it out better. Like where
What
it's
do you
just
mean by
like I don't know. Like I think that like nowadays when people collab, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, they're there in the video. Like whether it be like a commentary video and the person's like sitting there next to them, or they're
Like the magic's gone or the wonder's kind of gone. Is that what you're?
I think it's just that it's just easier to do and more accepted and more expected in some ways.
Yeah.
to collaborate with
The
people.
there is a bit of an expectation, isn't there?
Yeah.
And like this, I feel like this style, like sitting across the table from, a guest, this has become normalized now. It's expected, it's fun, it's cool. And then like 10 years ago, it wasn't, like these types of videos weren't as common.
No,
Or,
it was super
I'd say
rare.
They were rare, right? Like the sit downs. So like a frantic, like sketch collab was, I think, like a big deal.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then and now like you don't really see that, or every now and again it's like, oh, this group worked with that group. That's crazy.
I think we were in the first like big YouTube collab ever in 2007. Lisa Nova
Yeah.
like flew out a bunch of people to LA
Yeah.
to like all be in one video together, and it was mind blowing to have like
Weird.
6 different creators all in one video.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
But now it's so common.
sure.
Yeah, no, that was wild. They were like trying to like get like a sponsor, like
In
and-
07?
Yeah, and
like,
it was gonna
and
be like the first time that there had been a
it was
sponsor
like
on like a
it was
big
so
collab.
like weird though, because they were like in the middle of shooting. They're like, oh yeah, we're working on like getting a sponsor for this. We're like, so like we're gonna do one take with this product and one take without it, because this is gonna be like a big video.
The
Like
sponsor didn't happen.
It didn't. Okay.
It didn't happen.
Spoilers.
No.
It's crazy because back then, yeah, collabs were so weird and rare, and then
Yes.
also sponsors were so weird
Oh
and
my God, what
rare.
sponsors? Yeah.
Now it's both of those things are so common. Even when we were, because we were one of the first channels to be let into the,
Partnership
they didn't
program?
call it partnership program back then, but for YouTube
did.
monetization, did they?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh well, either way, monetization ads on YouTube, and we were one of the first 10 channels to do that. And even then, when we enabled ads, people were pissed at us
Yeah.
for selling out.
Yeah.
For selling out.
So disappointed.
It's like
I
the
love
only way
that.
you could create.
It's like, no, you can't make money off this. You have to be poor forever. You have to dance for us and just make content for us.
I do think
you want
that
money?
I do see where they came from though, because it was kind of the anti-traditional media. YouTube was like everything
was
that
punk
traditional
rock.
media wasn't.
Yeah.
So they were like, whoa, this, having brands, having capitalism come into, my cherished space on the internet is
Sure.
going
Yeah.
to
It's
ruin it.
tainted forever.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I mean, what do they think was funding YouTube in the first place to not have ads? They were dumb. They were just burning millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah, they
in
were
the hope-
investing.
Yeah, in the hope
Sure,
that
sure.
somebody would buy it
Yeah.
for more than the millions and millions that they burned.
Yeah.
Because like hosting like billions of hours of video ain't cheap.
That's gonna
Yeah.
As you
So-
know. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was natural. It was going to happen, but it is interesting now to see, since we've been around for 18 years, 17 years, to see the progress of how it's accepted now, and people many times are like, get that bag so you can keep creating fun stuff for us.
They're really like, and it didn't happen overnight, obviously, but like now there is almost an expectation of making money if you get into YouTube now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I'm sure you guys can relate. Like when I got in, like I didn't think I would make a penny off of YouTube. Like I said, I treated it like a portfolio just to have my stuff there and maybe have some fun with it. Make some goofy sketches.
Portfolio for your films that you
For
were
my
gonna be-
films, because I wasn't going to do this forever. I was going to move to Hollywood and like write my own screenplays and score and film and direct my own movies. YouTube was just it was just a vessel, a
Stepping
vehicle, a
stone.
stepping stone.
Yeah.
Was that your goal to move to Hollywood?
Yes.
So you did do that, but not in the way
Halfway
you
there,
thought
yeah.
you were gonna do.
Yeah, my freshman year of college was the same as my starting year of YouTube, 06. So 4 years in college, I studied. I was a film major, music minor. I learned how to write, I learned how to film and edit and all that crap, with the goal that in 2010, when I graduate, I would move from Maryland to Los Angeles, California, Hollywood, whatever, and get into the movie scene. In those 4 years, from 06 to 2010, my YouTube channel didn't blow up, but it like slowly and surely like became like more than a hobby. Especially, I got monetization in 08 or 09, one of those years. And it wasn't a ton, but it was still enough for me to realize like, oh, this could be more than a hobby. All right, maybe I won't abandon this YouTube thing quite yet, but I'm still gonna move out west.
Right.
And I did after I graduated. So in October of 2010, I moved out to Los Angeles. And that's when I started collaborating with some then very big YouTube channels.
Yeah, back then we were big.
You were though. You were. Because I talked to you about this on our when you did the video about like old school YouTube.
Oh, I
with
was
me
with
and
the
Brennan
OG
Rogers.
YouTubers. Yeah.
And I told you this whole story. Short version.
Say it again. It's a good one.
I remember I was in college. I was like out hanging with my friends. I just got 50,000 subs on YouTube, baby.
Shoot.
And one of my friends just like took the air right out of my tire sales, whatever, and was like, yeah, you know that Smosh has like 1 million now?
What
Nice.
a dick!
Nice.
What a dick!
Awesome, right?
Were they like jealous of Like, why?
I took it as like, F you, you're jealous of me, but like it doesn't matter. It's just a really funny
Right.
moment now that I can look
Yeah.
back on. Like that's really funny. So like even
Pretty
then,
shitty thing
I was
to
hearing about
say.
these Smosh guys.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Sorry.
This is like 08, 09, whatever. I don't even know.
We'll always be there to make you feel less than.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Hey, pound
Yeah,
it. Let's
you're
go.
welcome.
That's actually
Let's
why we
go.
keep going. We're like, we gotta make them just.
This is
feel
all just
so
our ploy to
insignificant.
feel better than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it work? Is it work?
Yeah.
Good.
I feel like shit. Thanks,
Good.
guys.
Just remember, it's called Flashback with Smosh, not with
Right.
Jacksfilms.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. In beautiful neon.
It's fake neon. It's LED.
So let's watch Jackask number 28. And the reason that number 28 is so important is because it birthed yesterday. I asked you, which has become your next series. So let's see how that started.
Hi, welcome to Jackask, the only Q&A show
Quality's
for the whole
better.
family.
A little better.
Do you get laid a lot?
The camera's closer.
Yes.
I guess that was the joke.
Oh,
do
did
you
you try to
avoid
make
this?
it look like
Jackass.
Jackass? I did
Yeah,
not.
of course.
You,
realize
now
that.
you just.
I never
now-
got that
So I had to
until I
make sure,
saw
like,
that screen.
the guitar riff is, you know, in a different key, but in a
Sure.
similar progression. And the font, I try to match the font. But yeah, and to this day, a lot of people are like, that's funny. This kind of, it sounds like Jackass. And like, it's like, no kidding, no shit, really. It's great. Anyway,
I did not get that.
Disappointing your parents. Haven't figured that out yet. Jack, do you think PewDiePie should have disabled comments on his videos? No, I don't. I don't know where else to find YJS content now. Ask out my crush for me?
God.
The following message goes
A lot of,
out
like,
to Levi's
in-jokes here.
crush. I know you're watching.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Levi and his jeans, and if you go out with him, he will charm the pants off of you. What do you do with a BA in English? Find the closest Starbucks and fill out an application. Why didn't you upload YGS last Friday? Because my mom was in town, which hardly ever happens, so I'm sorry. That'll never happen again, I assure you.
Yeah, your mom was the original Jacksfilms star.
she really was.
She had to be cherished for the time that she was there.
JFS.
She's been a supporter from the very start too, which but my whole family has supported the channel in ways that like I've tried not to take for granted. Because like, before YouTube was ever a monetizable thing, my parents like helped me get the laptop and the camcorder.
Yeah,
you know,
that's big.
they could have been like, no, why don't you study something in college that is actually a career, profitable.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, mother, no, father, I will make
going to be a
movies.
filmmaker.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
that's awesome. Like to have like, you know, your mom support you like that.
Very
is,
lucky.
A
like,
lot of parents do not. They're
I
just
know,
like,
I-
they're like, you're gonna be a doctor, just like I always imagined you would be.
Yeah.
I got very lucky in that that lottery.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Purchasing a company can be a huge financial risk, and after buying back Smosh, I made it a priority of mine to be more aware of my expenses. With Rocket Money, I'm able to track my spending across all accounts, save money, and set a budget all in one place. It helped me find subscriptions I forgot I'd signed up for, and cancel a streaming service that I don't use anymore. Now I can use that money on things I actually want, like making cool videos for you, like this one. I bet you have subscriptions you forgot about too. Fitness apps, delivery services, maybe some dating apps you don't use anymore. What are you doing? Let Rocket Money help you. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills. They can even try to get you a refund for months of wasted money, all with a tap of a button. No customer service call necessary. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over $500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/smosh. That's rocketmoney.com/smosh, rocketmoney.com/smosh. Now, back to Flashback.
Show us your video editing skills. Show us your
It's not even good.
video editing skills.
You're pretty skilled, bro.
Years of
Not
college.
really. Not anyone can do that.
See you Saturday. Will you ever do a Gamer Guide 88 episode?
Was that
Drunk?
FNAF?
That is
It was
such a
FNAF.
good idea.
It was
When
You
is
believe
very
it's
big
that
back
old?
then.
coming out?
I cannot believe FNAF.
FNAF's
is
been
that
around
old?
forever, dude.
So this video is from 2014, I want to say. Yeah, 2014.
Okay.
So like, yeah, that was like the genesis of FNAF.
Okay, yeah. 9 years ago?
Crazy to think it's still like a thing.
It's like just as big as ever.
Got staying power, right? That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Sooner than you think. Stay tuned. What do you think of the Jennifer Lawrence nudes? I'd love to know what
Christ.
you think. Normally, I'd be more than happy to answer this question, but this week I wanted to try out something a little different. So I flipped the tables and asked you guys on Twitter, what do you think of the leaked
That was my
nudes?
first question.
So here are some of your responses.
Oh, this is
Nudes
the first
are for
time you
nerds.
asked.
I've seen better butts. 7 out of 10. Danny DeVito's were my favorite. Don't take the photo if you can't take the oh no. I think they are naked. It's very nude of people to leak them. I think they could have been better quality. A pure work of art. I think the nudes are healthy. They had it coming. I only hope my nudes get the same publicity. Boobs are nice, but I wish yours leaked because I really want to see that dingle dangle. Good work, guys. Top 5 kids
I
bop
can't
tracks.
believe that was the first
parents
official.
That was the first time you asked the audience.
What a terrible question. What a horrible f***ing question.
Something you would never ask
No! Hey, what'd you think about those noodles, fellas? What a creep. Oh, no. Oh, God. I'm like mortified.
I feel like it is understood now that if that kind of thing happens, you don't play into it.
Yeah.
But back then, it was just like,
Oh, I mean, when the it was known as the fappening.
Right. It was huge news.
the
Yeah.
internet.
was-
Can you believe the internet was f***ed up?
I cannot. Good thing the internet is not f***ed up anymore.
It got
We fixed
fixed.
it.
It
We
got
fixed
fixed
it.
up.
They fixed the
It
internet.
got nice and tuned up.
But no, like yeah, the idea of like, because that was like when like a bunch of people got their like iClouds hacked. So it wasn't even
Yeah.
like an accident that somebody.
Yeah, it was
sent
f***ed up.
nude.
It was unwilling.
Yeah.
Hugely
Pictures
fucked up.
getting leaked.
Yes. And here I am making jokes about it. What an asshole. I hate
But
this
like there
guy.
was like the whole internet was like, oh yeah, but it was like we didn't have like there was like wasn't like an overall like concept of like, oh, this is like f***ed up.
Yes.
Privacy
exactly.
was not.
It was a big
ever.
joke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
you
big
know.
joke, and because it was celebrities, it was like
And there's
it
a
was
lot of
like,
shaming.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, and people were like, they
What are you doing
deserve
putting
it.
your nudes out there? Like they deserve right.
They're
There was-
celebrities. They
there was that
deserve it. They're
mentality.
rich. They deserve it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Crazy.
Just really, really hot takes then.
Anyway.
And you were leading that charge. That's crazy, man.
But this was 9 years ago.
Congratulations.
You were a different man.
I really was. I will say, like, 9 years ago in internet comedy is an eon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
17
yeah.
years ago in internet comedy is the Stone Age, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's wild and important to like recognize how comedy changes over the years.
Yeah.
What's acceptable? What's like you know, smiled upon and not so much. But like I don't know. This is eye opening because I sure as shit wouldn't do this whole bit
Yeah.
as it is today.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it started young.
Sorry,
You know,
yeah.
sometimes great things don't start with great beginnings.
Here. And like not to excuse it, but I mean like it was just a different time where like that was a thing in some videos before people recognized like maybe we shouldn't.
The thing was that we were all just a bunch of sheep that were like, oh, everyone's doing it. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Actually, there was a
and
there was a big part of
I
that.
feel like now it's luckily become more of a thing of like, hey, you have autonomy. You don't need to just do what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Just because enough people are doing it doesn't mean that it's just acceptable to do that kind of thing.
And I think like other groups now have like a voice online where like we didn't hear any like opposing like
That's-
opposing like
That's true. That's
opinions.
true.
It was just like everyone was like kind of unified and like, oh yeah, like the fappening was awesome
Right.
and like calling things by certain slurs that you shouldn't call them. Like it was just like pretty much like a unified sense of humor and like what was accepted until like, you know, Twitter came around and like people from like marginalized communities had like voices. Cause I think like we didn't really get backlash for anything until we made like making fun of like a weight loss thing. And that was like the first time that I think we ever got like backlash because somebody was like, oh, this is fat phobic. And we were like, huh?
Right.
And then that was like the first time we realized like, oh, we need to like be more careful with our content.
More conscious.
Yeah, more conscious, yeah.
With everything, it's like there's good and bad that comes with every evolution of the internet. So it's like there are opposing voices, there are people that are having you think outside of your echo chamber that you're in, which is really great. Obviously, at the same time, there's so many voices out there that you have the good and the bad that comes with that.
Sure, absolutely. And that's part of the territory. But like, I'm very thankful for like, you know, over the years, you know, when I've said something or made a skit about something, you know, that I shouldn't have, people tell me like, hey man, that's not cool. And like, there are 2 ways to respond to that. One is like, pipe down, you don't know what you're talking about. I know comedy, this is funny.
Yeah.
Or option B is looking into it and going, you're right, that was irresponsible. You grow from it, you learn from it, you evolve from that.
Yeah.
And you can, like, the beautiful thing is like, you can still make comedy. Like you can sit in a corner and be like, comedy's dead. Like, no, comedy is such
so
a
hacky.
wide casting, it's such a wide net.
Comedy has always been evolving.
Yes.
And it's always a reflection of where society is at the time.
Yes, exactly.
So, I mean, with the good and the bad, with the counterculture and just the common zeitgeist, you will see, because there will be people that will do the opposite of what's acceptable as the joke as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's both sides.
Like being edgy for edgy's sake kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, and they're very successful as well. I think like it's interesting. I think when people say like you can't be funny anymore, that's like
it's so narrow-minded.
That's
It's like you
lazy.
very much. It's lazy. Absolutely.
Also, people saying you can't make offensive jokes anymore. It's like, well, there's an audience that wants to see f***ed up shit. There's always an audience for everything.
Yeah.
It's just which audience do you want to have?
Yeah.
that's
You
true.
know what I mean? All right, let's keep
Yeah,
going.
and you want this audience.
You want this.
You want the audience.
This
that
is what
accepts
you want.
this.
This is the audience
This
that
is-
we have, and we are
Yeah.
very happy with this audience.
Exactly.
They've been
yeah.
begging for this.
Yeah.
I've been begging for it.
Parents just don't understand.
Understand, I need more allowance. I
we
want
don't have
hold
to
your
keep
hand.
watching.
Anaconda.
You don't want to?
Wrecked. How many
have
try
to.
to be funny but ironically unfunny questions do you get when you do these? Kim, you have no idea. So ask
Pee
me
blood.
your questions. Oh wait, hold on, we got one more.
And that is a lot of what you did. You would make your own music. I do feel like that was a very unique thing to you.
I mean, I still do when appropriate, but like it's very rewarding making jingles and stuff, knowing that like I can reuse. Like that was my outro, right?
Yeah.
So I used that outro for 100+ episodes. Your Grammar Sucks had a jingle. Yai has a jingle. It's really fun doing it. Like I don't know, writing your own theme songs is a whole lot of fun. I don't do it often, but
And after the MacBook debacle, you realized it was maybe the right way.
it was the only way. You know.
What P90 has done so
Jesus,
far?
Jack.
Yes, I can. 30 days ago, I was asked by the
Are you gonna flex?
Are you gonna flex those abs, bro?
Program
I think this is an ad, boys.
So I
Yeah, it's just a legit ad.
I was like, huh?
Did you get shit for doing an ad? Was this past that threshold?
So this was a little past it. The cool thing about, I will say, the cool thing about this was like an ongoing, this was like a 3-month-long ad essentially. So back in like the summer of 2014, I had like gained some poundage. And I was approached by Beachbody, the parent company of
They said,
P90X.
hey, you've gained some poundage.
yeah. Well, pretty much, yeah. Tony told me, and like to my face, it was awesome. He's like the best. They gave me and some other youths. They gave myself, Erin, and Brock Baker, and Bart Baker, Olga Kay, and Shira Lazar. They had us all in this group to test out a then new workout program, P90, not the X, a slightly less
X.
extreme version of P90X.
Oh.
And we were some of the test subjects to do it for 3 whole months, and they put us on a very strict diet. And from like August to October, I lost 30 pounds.
Damn.
This is like in the
Did you
middle of
get
it.
jacked?
I had a 6-pack because
Films?
so slow. I'm so slow. I saw that happen in slow motion.
You had abs on your mind.
I got moderately, I don't know, I was like skinny jacked, right? Like you don't do P90 to like get huge.
Yeah.
You do it to get trimmed, to get cut.
Yeah.
So I got cut. So what you're seeing right now is like a thing I did in the middle of like this whole 3-month regime where I tell everyone like, you know.
And it was a regime.
Yeah. Oh no, I was 6 days a week. I was very strict about it because I wanted to lose the weight. Anyways, yeah. So this is just like, that's a very long-winded story of what we're watching.
Well, we don't
Nice.
need to watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
You've seen it. You've seen it.
Actually, when we were talking about the inappropriate things, I actually had a question.
Yeah.
Do you believe in removing old videos? Do you private videos? Like, do you ever remove any videos if like something's like kind of unscrupulous? I don't know if people ever like point out like older videos where they're like, hey, this is kind of messed up. Like, do you believe in like removing it, or do you keep it up? Or
I do, and I think it's kind of like it depends on the context, but
yeah.
Sure, I've removed clips, I've removed whole videos that have just aged like milk. You know?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's left for posterity, but I'm for it. I'm not against like removing stuff that you're not proud of or that like doesn't reflect who you are now. And like I said, I do think it does depend on the context.
Right.
But I'm very for it. Like you have that option. Like YouTube allows you to do that. So why not use it if you really think you should?
Yeah. In our case, there are a few videos that I've been like, that's kind of a little, and we've privated it. But then I look back on it later and I'm like, but the thing that we were saying, even though like if you're just kind of like looking at it really quickly, you'd be like, oh, that's offensive. If you really look at the context behind it, a lot of times what we were doing was kind of like pointing out that people think this is okay, but it's not, and it's in a weird way because it seems like we're supporting it. If you're like not,
I think
you don't understand the context.
I think it depends on like whatever it is. I think there's certain stuff because it's like if you remove it, then it's like lost media. Like it's just gone forever, and there's something kind of weird about that. But I think it's like okay, if this is like damaging to people. Then,
if it's hurting
then
people,
it doesn't need to be out there.
For sure.
There's a line to cross or not cross, like whether to preserve it, right? Or if it actually is like doing harm, right? And that's what you have to weigh out.
For us, for the most part, if I see something and it's not outwardly causing harm, just makes us kind of look stupid or ignorant. I like to keep that stuff up because I like to show that you can progress and grow beyond ignorant points of view. I think that if you go through and you remove all the stuff that ever made you look ignorant, then it's kind of like saying people shouldn't grow. You should just already be perfectly well informed about society and culture and understand all points of view. But I think that there is something to be said about showing that you can learn, you can grow, and that there is potential if you are in an ignorant space to grow. Instead of being like, oh, you need to be perfect and you need to have always been that way.
Right. Yeah.
I think there's very much a truth to that.
Yeah, because then you start like if you do go down that route of I always need to be perfect, then you start shaming yourself for the mistakes that you made, and then it just becomes this really
it's like rewriting
unhealthy
history
thing. Yeah,
if you do that, if you can take it to an extreme, I think there's a healthy medium, a healthy middle.
Yeah.
Right. But if you go all like I don't know, that could be talk about doing more harm than good.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets? Any videos that you regret making?
I have.
You look so happy saying that. This is the happiest I've seen you all episode.
No, I think it's funny because like people have all sorts of like weird regrets. I mean, and maybe not even necessarily like it doesn't have to be a video. It could be like, oh, I like regret moving to LA or like
working with someone or like something you learned the hard way or something.
Right. I have two regrets that stand out. One is I really, really wish that I worked with a team sooner than I ended up working with the team. I've been stubborn. I think a lot of old school YouTubers face the same problem, but for the first 15 years.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Was that, so this 2 years ago shift happened?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Damn.
I did everything myself.
Didn't I give you shit for, did I ever give you
Everyone
shit
gave
for?
me shit for it. Yeah, they're like, what the are you doing, man? And I'm like, no. Only I can edit my videos. Like, such a bonehead.
Well, we saw those editing skills.
It's pretty cool, right? Did you see that? They spun sometimes? Yeah, only I can do that.
And colors were shifting.
Yeah. No one can do that but
that was the Jack special.
So your regret was the Jack special.
But so it took me forever to realize that like, yeah, there's a slight learning curve, but when you hand it off, not even handing off, just for me, it's not that I even do less work. It's just that now I have a team to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah.
I can pass along ideas like, hey, do you think this works? Instead of me just second guessing myself.
That's true. And that's when you get caught in a cycle of doubt.
Oh my God. And I went through that, especially in 2020. I was in a miserable space in 2020. But once I realized how to, I don't remember. But once I realized that like you could work with the team, I could work with the team, a beautiful thing happened. I started to realize like, I can make more ambitious stuff because now I'm no longer stuck in the editing bay forever.
Yeah.
And because I'm working with people outside of my circle, outside of me, they know how to do things that I don't.
Yeah.
So if I'm like, I kind of want to make a website that does something funky. I don't know how to do that. Well, this guy does, you know, or this guy knows someone that does. And now all of a sudden I'm pitching wild and loopy weird ideas that I never would have attempted myself.
Yeah.
And I just wish I had that. To be fair, I also don't regret it because to have that like experience of making and editing and scoring hundreds and hundreds of videos all on a little MacBook without a mouse. I edited everything on the trackpad.
That's right.
For my first several hundred videos.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Just an idiot. Boneheaded move. But I'm glad I have that experience because I can work off of that, right? And like,
Well, it's easier to teach people or tell them what it is that you want done if you've done it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Like I know, like I'm really good at tightening stuff up, right? I'm really good at like, hey, let's cut that, let's remove that. Ignore like any of these videos we watched today, but I'm usually really good at like just trimming the fat in videos, right? And that's something I learned in my hundreds of edits, and that's something that my editors know as well. But like it helps to have that experience. Other regret, on a bit more of a lighter note, is that when I was knee deep in the Your Grammar Sucks series, the 21st episode, I decided to make the drinking episode. And it would start a new tradition where every episode ending in a 1 would be a drinking episode. For 21, I went all out. And my rule was, when reading these comments to the camera, right? If I break or laugh, I have to take a shot of vodka. Specifically, it was like marshmallow flavored vodka.
Oh,
and
what the hell, man?
You know the thing about vodka? It looks like water, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's see-through. And a smarter man would have faked it. A smarter man would show the vodka bottle, put it out of frame, and then like, uh-oh, I broke, ha ha ha, and then just cut to a full shot glass of water
man.
and just fake being drunk.
Yeah.
A dumber man, a lesser man, would take 7 or 8 real shots on camera.
Within a span of probably an hour.
Yeah, in a stupid short span.
Oh.
And that dumber, lesser man would have spent 3 hours hugging a toilet in pain while his annoyed ass sisters, held his hair back essentially, just saying, you idiot, over and over again.
That's insane.
I can't relate to that. I'm just saying theoretically.
Theoretically,
Sure,
a really dumb
sure.
person.
In theory.
Right.
What can I say? I'm method.
Yeah.
I'm method. I'm
Right,
like, no, I will
right.
not fake these vodka shots. I will rip them with authority.
Yeah,
And then,
you're
so what did you do in the later ones then?
I cut down to beer.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's
smart.
That's smarter.
Slightly better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've gotten smarter, and you're still honest.
Yeah.
To a fault. To
Yeah.
a fault.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, that brings us to our next segment, a brand new segment on this series. We've only done it once before, called "Are you
Are you
happy?
happy? Are you happy?
Are you happy?
Are you
That's
happy?
such a good question.
Are you happy?
It is a good question. Are you happy?
Are you happy?
Gee, well, first we have to define what happy is, fellas.
Are you happy?
I genuinely think I am.
You think you are.
Oh, we're pushing it. No, I think I am. It took me a long time to get to a place where I felt confident. Because beforehand, like this era of Jack, he was having fun, but he was so worried about his next video.
And he's definitely a third person. That's not you. That's him.
That's him.
That's a he, another person.
I refer to him as Jack version, I don't know, whatever. Yeah.
It's not you.
It's not me, and I mean. But making jokes about the fappening, no, that wouldn't be.
Can't relate.
He was always concerned about the performance of his next video. Not that I'm no longer concerned, but I can breathe a little easier. I have, and it took me forever to get to this state, I have 3 channels now. So it takes the pressure off of having just the one main channel, one solid channel. You're only as good as your latest main channel video. Now, I have a bit more flexibility. I can do different things on different channels. I have breathing room. I have a team. I didn't have a team back then.
Right. And when you're caught up in every single detail, because you're putting so much of your energy into every single detail, the outcome matters a lot.
So much.
The
so
success
much.
of the video matters because it's a reflection of you.
Well, and it used to feel like such a 1-for-1, like in like the old days of YouTube. It really did feel like the amount of effort that you put in, you got out in video performance.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was like a moment, and I don't want to say the algorithm, but like there was a moment where effort in didn't necessarily mean good video performance.
Yeah.
And and it started to become like pretty demoralizing, and maybe the 1 out of 10 thing that was added. I feel like I've heard so many YouTubers like reference that as like a pain point, where it is like very valuable information, but when you see a video that doesn't get 1 out of the last 10 uploads and it's maybe 8 out of the last 10
Or
uploads,
10 out
or
of
10
10.
out of
Go lower,
10.
boys.
If you have
Yeah.
multiple 10 out of 10s in a row, you start to picture what your future is going to look like,
Yes.
and it's not good.
Yes, honestly, that.
So
and-
you feel like with these multiple channels, you're doing different things, you have a little more freedom, you're not so tied to the performance of one upload.
Exactly. It takes the pressure off. So when I do get those multiple 10 out of 10s,
Yeah.
it's like, it sucks. It's not, it doesn't feel great, but it's also like, it's not the end of the world.
You already have other stuff in production too at that point.
always more stuff in the books, right? In the bag, as they say.
Yeah.
And
that helps with me a lot, because when you're going one video and then you finish it and you release it, then you're sitting there looking at it before you even get into your next video.
you're obsessing over its performance.
And then you're going into the next video, recording it, thinking about how, oh shit, my channel's going down. But when you have other stuff in the pipeline already being created,
takes the pressure
you're like,
off.
I'm already confident about those future ones though.
Okay, so your strategy is make more,
In a way, yes.
more, and then you won't be so tied
work
up
harder.
in.
Well, don't have
Just
all
work harder.
don't have all your eggs in one basket.
Yes. I mean, it's when you put it that way, it's very funny. It's just like, yes, just make more videos, you idiot. And like, sure, but like, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I do say like, I do feel like the pressure is off, and that just makes me generally happy. I can relax more. I can like, play with my dogs more. I can like live my.
You
life
open
more.
up the YouTube Studio app and just see the number, and you would just like, that would just be a day ruiner.
Of course. Of course. In the first hour, the first 2 hours, when it's just like, oh, it looks like it's not going anywhere.
Okay, I need to change the thumbnail. I need to change the title, and it's like
So many like A/B test it. Oh, the title's not great, right? It's the title, right? It's the title.
Yeah.
And like YouTube will never tell you. Like, you have to figure it out. No, now it's just like, oh well, we'll try something else, I guess. In the meantime, I'm looking forward to that video coming out.
Yeah.
And I love that, and I just wish I learned that sooner. But yes, to answer your question, I'm happy.
I think.
Yes, yeah. But, asterisk.
Yes.
I love that.
Congratulations.
Glad you're happy.
Are you happy, guys?
No, you can't turn it back.
We're in
on us.
control
You can't Uno reverse this. Before we go, we have a little gift for you.
Yeah, we gotta go grab it.
We're gonna go grab the gift right now.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
You stay right here.
I'll stay right here.
Stay put.
What's the gift? Is it another YouTube channel? It's another dog? I have 3 dogs. I hope it's another dog. I can always use more barking. I hate hearing myself think. Oh, someone's holding a blanket so I can't see what they're bringing out. That's, you know what? That's some 4D chess thinking. All right, respect. What if it's a MacBook Air? I know it. It's gonna be in a manila envelope. It's gonna be a MacBook Air. Friggin' Dracula over here.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
There's your present. Well, we can explain it once he opens it. I think.
You can open yours, and we'll show what,
And you'll
what
open
we
yours?
got going
Okay.
on over here. Yeah. Part of the gift is what we got going on.
Okay, I couldn't guess. All right. Man, you really know how to make a fellow wait.
Yeah.
This like, still don't know what this is. Is this? Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on.
So
Okay, so this quiet you. Is this a breast pump?
yes. So we figured since you're so good at milking
God damn it.
format
God damn it. I knew it. Milking something.
that we too love milking a good format.
We love
so
milking a good format. We come up with a format once, and you just churn out thousands of episodes.
Keep pumping it out.
How many
Pumping.
yais have you come out with?
What?
How many yais have you?
Oh, this
released?
thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Something like 620 something. I don't
my
know. I lost
God.
track.
Just keep pumping it. Just keep. There you go.
keep-
With
You know?
I love it. You actually have milking.
the more you
That's
pump,
cute.
Yeah.
the more you pump, the better it is.
We pumped earlier today.
Oh, don't. Oh God.
Is it good?
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Vegan.
Yeah.
Oh, that excuses
Makes
it. That's fine.
better
Yeah.
breast milk. Yeah.
This came directly from a vegan woman. So
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
So it makes
so you know it's
vegan.
good.
It makes it vegan.
Yeah, let me think. I got 600 plus Yai episodes.
Yeah.
I've got 120-ish Your Grammar Sucks episodes.
What about Jackask?
Jackask, I think also 100 20, 30,
Oh,
something
you
in
are
that
good at
ballpark.
milking those.
Yeah.
those
You gotta.
series.
Oh, baby, you gotta.
Milk those
Yeah,
series.
you got the best milkers.
Yeah.
I got several hundred sketches, but I don't number them, so like that's not impressive.
Right.
Who cares?
But you're very good at milking.
Thank you.
With
I knew it. As soon as I saw the pumps, I'm like, oh, they're gonna make a milking joke, and you did not disappoint.
good.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Well, thank you so much for coming on here. Is there anything that you would like? Sorry, I got milk burps.
He was chugging
there-
it back
yeah,
there.
I was chugging
straight
some
from
milk.
the vegan woman's teeth.
Is there anything that you'd like to promote? Anything cool you're doing right now?
Nope, not a
Besides
thing.
getting pumped live on camera for millions of audience members.
Yeah. So you can, this is really cool. You can find my main channel on YouTube at Jacksfilms. Then I have the second channel and also on YouTube, Jack is a Nerd, and that's where all the if you know what Yai is and Jackask is, and you want to see the people on my team how they're doing, you can go there.
JoJo Jacksfilms.
Yes. And we're doing a different thing there. We're doing this kind of creator bingo. We're trying to lift up smaller creators. I'm trying to build up smaller channels, smaller creators, kind of lift them up since the algorithm has failed them. We try to say like, hey, check this person out. And everything that we watch there is submitted from the original creators in the hopes that we see them. And it's like a little workshop.
And
Cool.
hopefully they get popular with their series and they can milk it for all of its worth.
That's right.
Is that
Release
not the
over
dream?
600
yeah,
episodes.
you got to
of
spread
their
the
series.
milk.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure hanging out with you,
Likewise.
making videos with you. You're such a swell dude.
You're a swell dude.
Couldn't.
Swell dude.
I wouldn't want to be here today with any sweller dudes than you guys. Yeah, shake
Thank
it
you
out.
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Appreciate the mommy milkers on display too. For
That's
us all
right.
Today.
Thank you.
And
This doesn't just happen.
and we'll see you guys another time.
In just a couple weeks.
We'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Here's Chance. Did not remember what his eyes, eyebrows, nose, mouth, or ears look like.
So all you can remember was his hair.
But I do feel like I got his stare down.
Satanas, Lucifer,